welcome and good morning. Let's begin our morning class. Okay, so the standing posture, feet shoulder width apart, knees gently bent, arms hanging down by your sides. Just come into a steady, relaxed stance. We're allowing the tailbone to gently drift down towards the ground, feeling the spine nice and long, with the top of the head gently pushing up into the blue sky. This lovely elongated spine. Move the tailbone towards the front of the body just a tiny bit, tucking the tailbone underneath just a tiny bit. And that just relaxes and straightens the lower back. Feel as if you could gently sit down, just dropping the tailbone straight down, as if sitting on a chi chair. Okay, so this is the kind of basic standing posture. So for this class, we're going to do a few warm-up exercises. If you're not capable, that's no problem. You can just wait for a few minutes and we'll get on to the meditation. These exercises can be done standing as well as sitting. You can always find some way to make a variant of it that suits yourself. And so all the exercises can be adjusted to suit your body. If you find that I say, bend forwards and go down, you can move forwards. It doesn't have to be very much. And when we're doing our first exercise, turning the waist, you don't have to turn very far. So everything can be adjusted to suit your current state. Focus your mind into the very core of the body. We're just going to turn the body gently to one side and look back over the shoulder and just see how the spine feels. Do the same on the other side. Gently open and stretch. Do that a couple of times just to waken the back up and see what's going on. And then we can start to turn the waist. So we just allow the waist to gently turn from side to side. Allow the shoulders and hands to relax. Open the palms up so they gently tap you on the side of the body. You can just feel your wrists thumping on the small of your back. Feel the palms tapping gently on the side of the body. Keep the shoulders soft and relaxed. Knees soft and relaxed. Very easy, gentle turn. Try to make sure that you're moving the belly from side to side. So this exercise, sometimes people do it standing completely forward and just move their shoulders and arms, but we're really trying to get this central core of the body to move as well. That just rotates the spine, rotates. As the spine rotates, the shoulders and elbows move and wrists move, but also you can feel your hips gently moving from side to side. That gently moves your knees, even your ankles a little bit, so the whole of the body gets a nice gentle movement with this exercise. We'll move on to the neck in a moment. But sometimes when you first start doing this exercise, it can make you feel incredibly dizzy. Out of nowhere, you suddenly think, oh gosh, I feel quite lightheaded. There's a way to help yourself if that occurs. Of course, sit down or lie down if you feel unstable or unsteady, but also you can draw your mind down from your belly deep into your toes. So imagine, or not imagine, but yes, experience the space between your big toes and the ground. Really squeeze them downwards and then work along to the next toe and squeeze those again. So then onto the middle toes, onto the ring toes, onto the little toes. We just gently sort of feel the pad of the toe pressurizing the floor. And just put your mind in that experience. Go right into it. Feel the ball of your foot. On the ball of your foot, there's an acupuncture point, or just kind of behind the ball of the foot, there's an acupuncture point called Yongquan, the kidney point. It's called the bubbling wellspring of life It's got a great title. And you imagine chi bubbling in through the sole of your foot. Occasionally you might visit a garden centre and you'll see a water display, and they have a sort of a circular piece of stone, and in the middle there's water bubbling up through the little hole in the stone. And I always think of Yongquan like that. I imagine chi kind of bubbling up into the sole of my foot from the earth below, like a spring of water. And then chi gently comes into your feet, it moves up your legs into your body. Same is true of the heavens above. As we stand nice and straight, the chi pours down from the heavens. And on top of your head, I'm afraid I haven't got a better image than your personal satellite dish. Just imagine you have a sort of satellite dish on your head, receiving the broadcast from the heavens, as it were, pouring down into your head, pouring down all the way through your body to your belly, and this chi from the earth coming up to the belly. Okay, so let's change this exercise a little bit, slow down slightly. We can now make it a bit longer. Try and look back over your shoulder. Really stretch back, stretch back. So we just loosen up the spine, the last part of the spine, the 7th cervical vertebra, just by stretching out our neck. Okay, so at any moment, we want to really have our minds in our bellies. Think of the belly button and the space behind it. And that brings you to the center of your body. If you feel lightheaded, think about your feet. If all you're doing is thinking, oh gosh, I've got to do some shopping, or blah, blah, I haven't done this, what do I do next? And you're spending all your time up in your mind, as it were, then that is going to draw chi up into your mind. And that's just going to make you ever more dizzy. So we're really trying to locate ourselves in the core of our bodies, behind our bellies. We want to be centered in ourselves. Okay, last few long turns. Great. And then we're going to let the whole thing gently, slowly drift to a stop. Let's gather some chi. So hands go in the earth and we lift chi up. And then we can pour chi down, draw the chi down through the body, deep into the belly. Allow the chi to flow down the legs, connect into the earth. Let's go again. Gathering chi, lift chi up. And pour chi down. Draw the chi through the body, deep inside. Draw the chi deep into the belly. And then just let the hands relax and the chi flows down. Let's continue. So this is a rebalancing exercise. If we imagine that too much chi has gone into the head to make us dizzy, now we can imagine combing our chi hands through our chi body, rebalancing and moving the chi deep inside the belly. Everything goes back into the center of us. We can pause for a microsecond and then let the hands relax and the chi flows down back into the earth, creating some sort of beautiful circuit. Okay, let's just do some forward and back bends to complement our side turns, waist turns. So let's just lift up again, bring the hands up in the air. I'll just turn sideways, you don't have to. Stretch up. And then we're just going to bring over the arms and ears at the same time. So the body stays straight. We're just bending over arms and ears. When they're parallel to the floor, now you can start to bend your upper back, bend the middle back, and gently bend the lower back. And allow yourself to relax down and just see wherever you naturally get to. So no worries, you don't have to go too far. Just go to wherever's comfortable. Release the back of the neck as much as you can. Just let the body hang here. You keep your knees nice and soft. Okay, so we're going to make a gentle extension down towards the toes. And then release that stretch. Imagine a line drawn between the roots of your toes. Gently stretch towards that line. And release. Imagine a line drawn between your insteps. Gently stretch towards that line. So you see we're getting deeper with each bend. And release. And eventually back towards the heels. Last one as deep as you can comfortably go. And release. Just let the body gently hang.
So to get yourself standing upright, we have this little maneuver. Lift your tailbone up behind you so it points right up into the blue sky, and then swing your tailbone forwards and start to build up the vertebra one by one. Join your arms and your ears together and try and bring them up as one piece. That gives us an extra sort of cantilever stretch as we come up into the blue sky. Nice long stretch. Okay, release the knees gently forwards and you lean back. Stretch up and gently back. Knees and hips go forward as you lean back. Up and gently back. Up and gently back. Up into the blue sky. We'll do some side bends to go with this as well. Let the left hand drift down. Right side of the body gently opens. Right hand drift down. Left side of the body gently opens. So if you define that these exercises are too difficult to do, you can do them in your mind. You can watch and imagine your body doing them. Down on the left side. Stretch open on the right. Down on the right side. Stretch open on the left. Good. We're just going to run through that little set 3 more times. So we start with our forward bends. Nice soft knees. Stretch the hands into the blue sky. Try and coordinate your arms and ears first. Body stays straight. And then drift into the upper back. Drift into the middle back. And drift into the lower back. And just let the body gently hang and relax here. So it doesn't matter how far you go down. You just find whatever's comfortable for you today. Tuck your tummy in a little bit, let the body relax, let the back of the neck relax. So imagine the foot split into 4 pieces. First of all, toward the toes, and then release. Towards the roots of our toes, and release. Toward the insteps, and release. Toward the heels, and release and relax. Let the body hang. Okay, so tailbone lifts up behind, tailbone pushes to the front of the body, spine starts to roll up, arms and ears coordinate. We draw those up as one piece. Stretch up into the blue sky. Now we do our back bends. So let the hips drift forward as you lean back. Gently stretch up and back. Up and back. One more time. Up and back. Stretch up into the blue sky. Let's do the side bends as well. Down the left side. Open the right. Down on the right side. Open on the left. Down on the left. And down on the right. Good. Stretch the hands up into the blue sky. So we're going to run through twice more, but this time we could add a little extra dimension. Try and keep the legs straight if you can. So that gives us a hamstring stretch. So tip over just the head and arms and ears. And then keep the legs straight as we slowly go down. If you can't manage it, you can always release your legs, but try and keep them straight if you can. That just gives an extra dimension to this stretch. Let the body hang and relax, back of the neck soft, back of the legs straight as you can. First extension down toward the toes. And release. In line with the roots of our toes. And release. Working toward the insteps. Release. Back toward the heels as deep as you comfortably can. Release and relax, body hangs. Tailbone gently lifts up behind. Tailbone pushes toward the front. Spine slowly rolls up. Arms and ears engage and come up. Stretch up into the blue sky. Nice long stretch. Release the knees and hips forward as you lean back. Stretching up and gently back, up and gently back, up and gently back. Hands up into the blue sky. Left hand curls down, right side of the body opens. Right hand curls down, left side of the body opens. These side bends are very good for your liver and your spleen and your kidneys. So as we go down on the left, we squeeze the spleen and we open up the liver on the right. As we go down on the right, we squeeze the liver and we open up the spleen. They're very good for a little massage for the organs. Hands up into the blue sky. Okay, so we go around one last time for this set. We're just going to keep the legs straight again if we possibly can. Arms and ears tip over. Roll into the upper back, middle back, and lower back. Just let the whole body settle down and relax. Back of the neck relaxes. Tummy tucks in, whole body hangs. Gently drifting towards the toes. And release. In line with the roots of your toes. Release. Toward the insteps. And release. Toward the heels, deep bend. And release. Just let the body gently hang and relax. Lift the tailbone up behind, push the tailbone towards the front of the body. Spine rolls up, head, arms, and ears come up as one piece. Stretch up into the blue sky. Nice long stretch. Release the knees and hips forward as you lean back. Up, gently back. Up, gently back. Up, and gently back. Good. Hands up into the blue sky. Drift down on the left-hand side. Open the right side of the body up. Drift down on the right side. Open on the left. Down on the left. And down on the right. Great. Raise both hands up into the blue sky. And then just release your hands down the sides, gently drifting down. As the hands move down, the chi moves down in your body as well. And then we can gather more chi to bring ourselves back into balance. Hands go into the earth, lift chi up. Gently pour the chi down through the body. Move the energy deep inside the chest, deep inside the belly. We can sort of almost pause for a moment and then release the hands down the legs. So it's kind of bringing all the attention to the core of you, behind the belly, deep inside. And then just let the chi flow after that. So we comb any excess chi from the head. We comb any excess chi from the chest, and everything arrives deep down in the belly. And then as we release the hands, the chi gently flows on. Okay, let's go again. And pour the chi through. Draw the chi through, deep inside. Collecting all the energy deep in the belly. And allow the hands to relax and pour on down. Very good. Okay, let's just gather our hands onto our belly now. So we'll just take up one more time, gathering chi up. We're going to bring everything back to the belly. So lower dantian in Chinese, the lower energy field. Drawing all the energy here. And then as we bring the energy to the belly, we can just let the hands settle on this lower energy field. And we just go into our standing stance. Knees gently bent, back nice and straight. Tailbone's a tiny touch tucked forward. Chin is a tiny bit drawn backward. Hands just sit on the belly. So this is the core of your energy behind the belly button. Dr. Pang is very precise. He says 7
tenths of the way through your body. So it's not even 75% or 65 or 60%. It's exactly 7/10. So we move from the front of the body 7/10 of the way in, and that's where you kind of bump into the front of your spine, I imagine. So I think that this energy field just sits in front of the spine, deep inside. Of course, it doesn't relate to an organ as such. It's just an area of high concentration of chi. So as you stand, try and keep your knees bent. If you have a bent knee, then the chi flows much more better through your legs. Much more better. Then when you bend your knee, it shifts the weight gently forward into the front of the foot, and that presses Yong Quan against the ground. That gets that acupuncture point, the bubbling wellspring, open and chi flowing in the legs. When we have this nice straight spine, it's like an antenna, I suppose. Straight spine, head up in the blue sky, chi pouring down. So this is the perfect posture for gathering chi. And an awful lot of qigong is done just like this, nothing else. Just stand, just keep your mind quiet. So let's just talk about the mind for a moment before we carry on. The mind can expend a huge amount of our energy just by chewing over old problems from the past, just by constantly worrying about the future. So that's why in all sort of modern day spirituality, we hear people say, just try to be in the present. So what is the present moment? Well, I guess the first thing it must be is not being in the past or the future. So we're just trying to stop the mind from running round its old patterns. I can't remember who it was who was writing, but he was writing about how the mind works. He was saying, once upon a time I had a girlfriend and she had a blue Corvette convertible car. And he said, and then we had a bad breakup and everything went wrong. And she was sort of a blonde in a blue Corvette. And he said, then the other day I was driving down the highway and I saw a blonde in a blue Corvette. I knew it wasn't her, but it immediately started me thinking about the terrible things she'd said and the things that she'd done to me and cheated on me and blah, blah, blah. And then he said, I spiraled off into this depression. And you think to yourself, there it is. It's exactly that. It's a memory. So we look at the nature of memory. Our life is a series of events. Things happen and things move on. It's like a movie. You go out of your front door and a naked man runs past and you think, wow, what? What was that? And it's an event, but he's gone and that was, so the question is, what do you choose to do with that event? Think to yourself, well, that was curious. Let it go and you don't think about it again. And maybe a couple of weeks later you tell someone, it's very funny, this guy ran past my door, no clothes on. Or alternatively, you might think to yourself, that was the most rude thing I've ever seen. I feel so upset about that. So you can see that in every single moment, there are events going on. And you have a choice to decide how you feel about them. Let's move one layer back. What makes you choose to be angry or laugh in that situation? Well, perhaps it's part of your upbringing. Perhaps your mum and dad were very, I don't know, Protestant, is that the right word? They didn't like being naked. They didn't like talking about sex. They didn't like talking about, the body, as it were. And so perhaps you had it drilled into you at a very young age. Your ideas were already set. This is not a good thing, the body. And from that springs a whole host of things, and especially our naked man running past, it's going to upset you. You're going to think, oh, that's bad. It's a bad thing. And then you feel upset about it. And all day, perhaps you wander around going, how could that guy have been so rude? How could he have been so, and on it goes. So in every moment, we have a choice to let go of our judgment. And in every moment, we have a choice to hold on to it. So being in the present moment is just about letting these events pass us by without marking us. If you study soft Chinese martial arts, Tai Chi and Qigong have their own kind of martial branches, you'll discover that it's about not being hit. So whereas in something like Kung Fu, it's about how many blows you can land on a person's body, in something like Tai Chi or Qigong, it's about not being struck by someone and using their energy against them. And so you'd see someone throw a punch at a Tai Chi master, and he would just melt gently out of the way. The person would follow their punch straight past and onto the floor, probably with a gentle push from the Tai Chi master to help him collapse. It's about using somebody else's energy, their bad mood, their anger against them without it affecting you. So we have to learn to become gently invisible. We have to stay in our present moment, and we have to allow the things around us not to affect us. So one of the things would be the 1 o'clock news, sitting in front of it, absorbing all this bad news. Or perhaps one day you just decide not to listen. Can you find yourself perhaps in a space where you can listen and it doesn't matter at all what you hear? Probably a better place, because we're constantly bombarded with stories. We're constantly bombarded with news, bad information. So it's better to be someone who's impervious. The news story breaks, and like a wave, it washes over you and disappears behind you on up to the beach. It doesn't stay with you. So you just learn to not be affected by events. So clearly, we get affected by events from time to time. The next thing is to choose how you feel about it. What does your reference framework tell you? So when you see your naked man run by and you think to yourself, in that moment, you have a choice. Do you want to be upset by it? Do you want to take it to heart? Do all of your references in the background tell you you should take it to heart? So every event is an opportunity to look deep inside, to see what's being triggered. So that's how you find your stories. How did you react to that man running past? Were you cross? Were you angry? The next question is, why was I cross? What upset me so much about that event? I remember my mum and dad used to be very upset about nakedness. So you start to look at it and you think to yourself, but that's their story, not mine. Next time something happens to me, perhaps I should just not stick with that story anymore. Let that dissolve. So that's how we evolve our personalities. Events, the outside world. The outside world is just a mirror. It throws up things to challenge you. And so as you go through your daily life, if all of your patterns are about not liking people from another country, not liking people with a different skin color, then sure enough, you're going to be challenged by that all day long. It'll come up to you constantly. There'll be people there who are there to challenge you. That's what life does to you. And then you have to think to yourself, oh, why am I getting so cross about this? And then, I'm afraid we often blame our parents for everything, don't we? Our parents do their level best to sort of, give us as much as they can. But of course, they're only working with the tools that they had. And so when you think about it, when you think about how much spiritual education your parents might have had, how much education, full stop, your parents might have had, you know, how across their grandparents, your grandparents were with them, across the great grandparents were with the grandparents, with the children, blah, 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 it runs all the way through the family. You think to yourself, well, gosh, they had a pretty tricky time of it as well. And the stuff they passed on to me were just the things that made sense to them. And so we see family DNA right there. It's a kind of like family stories that can hurt us. But do you need to be hurt by them now? Do you need to be still reacting to the same things that generation after generation of people have reacted to? I don't think so. Because you are unique. You are a unique being. In reality, your mother and father are the conduit by which you arrive. Nothing really more. Your children, same way. You give them life. But when it comes down to it, there is nothing but you. You are unique. You are amazing. You're incredible. But you need to look after you first and foremost. We can become such givers. We can expend so much of our energy on other people and leave nothing for ourselves. But when you realize that there is only you, that you are totally individual, then you realize that you have to look after yourself better. You have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. You have to heal your body first. So just think about that. Think about what it is that you need today. Think about what patterns there are that make you act in a way that you no longer feel serves you, or perhaps humanity. So first of all, we fix ourselves at the deepest possible level. We look at the patterns that upset us. We look at the things that go wrong, and then we start to heal them. And you make the changes to yourself, and those changes reflect around you. Because as I say, the world is a reflection of you. So you make a fundamental change. You think to yourself, I'm not going to allow that pattern to spring forward next time. And don't panic. Very often it does, but sometimes you catch a little bit more quickly, and then you catch it again, and then you catch it again, and eventually after you caught it for the 10th time, you think, enough now, and it finally dissolves. So don't be too tough on yourself. Start to look at the weeds that need pulling out of the garden. It's like a dandelion. 2 or 3 times you break the top off it and you think, oh dear, and eventually you dig it out. Dandelions can be very resilient. So be kind to yourself when you start digging these roots out. Sometimes they don't come out all at once. Sometimes they need a little bit of extra digging. But just by the sheer fact you've looked at them, then you're starting to heal yourself. So we're going to heal something today. Perhaps you want to just start at a very basic level with a particular part of the body. My knee is very sore, I'm going to work with that. Or the doctor has said that my kidneys are a problem, I'm going to work with that. So that's always valid, never a problem. But if we look at this holism, this holistic nature of ourselves, we start to realize that nothing is disconnected. We start to realize that everything has a root cause. Perhaps your knee is sore because you're slightly too heavy. Perhaps you want to lose weight, but you can't because emotionally, every time you get upset, then you turn to sugar as a comfort. Perhaps you're upset because things have been said to you in the past that make you upset. It seems ridiculous to suggest that, because your mum used to be cruel to you, that your knee is now hurting. But you can see there is a possible correlation down this path. Things that people have said, weight management, and then a joint that's struggling. So you can choose to work at whichever level you want. You could choose to work on the physical, that's great. You can work on the emotional, fantastic. You could work on the past. Perhaps something from the future is giving you worry. Perhaps a doctor said something to you and you're thinking, oh dear, I'm not looking forward to that meeting, to the scan, to whatever it is. All of these things are just events. You have the power to change everything. So you could imagine this future meeting just dissolving all of the problems, dissolving all of the worry, making it an absolutely perfect meeting. So we use, of course, the same is true of our past. We can imagine healing the past. So if everything is energy, it doesn't really matter whether it's past, present, or future, because we can change the energetic feel of it. Perhaps the person who was your tormentor has moved on to another plane, has left this energy field, but the energy of them still resides in your body. But we're going to dissolve that energy now, dissolve that connection with the past, let go of that problem. So gently bring your hands and let them hang down for a moment, and then gather a ball of chi in front of the belly. So we just hold a ball about the size of a football. Contained in this football is your problem. We're just going to move the hands apart and imagine that football dissolves, opens, disappears out into the universe. When we bring our hands back together again, we rebuild our lives. Great new chi comes inside. So it's a very simple idea. It's just that. So if your knee was the problem, you could imagine your knee being in the center of your hands. You just let all of the ligaments and bones and things dissolve, let go. When you bring your hands back, it would be a perfect version of your knee. Perhaps it's an organ inside the body. You can imagine your kidneys gently dissolving out into the blue sky as you move your hands open. And when you come back, the energy of the universe floods in to rebuild your kidneys in perfect working order. Now, our relationship with your mother, we can gently open the hands and imagine that dissolving, all the problems between you and your mother dissolve. And when you come back, you've got a perfect working relationship. Everything is happy and well. So you can see how this very simple exercise, La Chi, can work at any level. In fact, if you're working on something like your knee, you could actually have your hands either side of your knee if you're sitting down. You could work physically one hand either side of the knee, or perhaps, your hands just in front of your kidneys or whatever it was you're working with. But obviously when we're talking about something like mother or past or future or whatever, it's going to have to be an idea. So it doesn't really matter. The power of your mind is all that really matters. So start to think about what it is you'd like to work with. The first thing that comes to mind is always the best. So don't question it. If something pops up and you think, well, that's odd, I didn't think I was going to be working with, my next door neighbor, you just think, that's fine, just let it work its way. The other thing I'd say about La Chi is that sometimes as we work away with La Chi, sometimes you come to the end of an idea. And you think, oh, that feels all right now, that feels solved, sorted. Okay. And then move on to something else if you wish. We all have a library full of interesting things we can gently dissolve, because what we're trying to do is create a new relationship to the past, a new relationship to the future, a new relationship to our body. And so our universe is filled with this extraordinary resource of chi. There is never a shortage of chi. It's only in our minds we think there's a shortage of chi. There's a shortage of everything, apparently, if you listen to the newspapers. Oh, not enough money, not enough oil, not enough blah, blah, blah. But energy, boundless. And the boundless energy can heal your life. So first of all, we dissolve our problems and we bring back boundless energy. And in our mind's eye, we see the problem solved. So the information of your mind is to rebuild a good pattern, is to rebuild something happy. So we use the good information of the mind, and we use the fresh chi of the universe, if you like. Between the two of them, they rebuild this perfect story. So we're not talking about, changing your childhood into a chocolate box kind of perfect, lifestyle. Pollyanna? I don't know, maybe. Can't remember that film. We're not talking about that. We're talking about calming and relaxing everything, letting everything go so it no longer holds onto you. You don't have to replace it with a fantasy. All you have to do is understand that everything is okay now. Let everything go. Bring back happiness and joy. That's all that's required. Love, happiness, joy. Whatever it is that seems to work for you. So we move our hands forward and backward. Gently opening dissolves all our problems. Gently closing brings the chi back deep inside. We can use the Chinese words kai for open. We can use the Chinese words he for close. So it doesn't really do them justice. As we know, Chinese work in pictograms. Kai has got so much behind it. It's dissolve, let go. And he is not only close, but it's draw in, bring together, all of these kind of things. So kai and he, open and close, at its most simple. Yeah, that's fine, but it's much more than that, much deeper than that. So think of your problem and let's dissolve it. Open the hands and gently let go. Feel the problem dissolve out into the blue sky. When we bring our hands back, perfect working order. Everything is right. Let's open the hands and say kai. We bring the hands together, we say her. Feel everything rectifying itself, everything being sorted out. Kai means open, dissolve, let go at the deepest level. Goes deep into your reference framework, goes deep into your body, changes the deepest of levels. The question is, do you want to say Kaiha or do you want to listen to Kaiha? It doesn't make any difference. It's up to you. If you feel you want to join in, you join in. Sometimes just thinking Kaiha is what feels better. letting go, letting go, letting go. Draw healing chi deep inside every aspect of your body. Healing chi deep inside. Couple more. Just pause for a moment. We're going to take this journey out into the universe. Each time we're just going to say Kai and then leave ourselves open a bit further. In a little while we'll come back with her. So just gently feel your body dissolve as we say Kai. Hold your body dissolved and open. Dissolve out into the blue sky with Kai again. Leave yourself open in the blue sky. And to dissolve further, if you feel comfortable, out into our solar system with Kai. Imagine the beauty of our solar system. Imagine dissolving out into the Milky Way, out into the galaxies with Kai. Out into the four corners of the universe. Let's say Kai again and dissolve absolute and totally into the universe. Just for a moment, allow yourself to be completely dissolved into the vastness of the universe. Totally open, totally safe, totally held by the vastness of chi. This is where we can find the blueprint of our body. This is where we can find the healing chi for our lives. No scarcity, no lack. Everything you need to heal. When we zoom out like this to this extraordinary degree, the problems in your life just become specks of nothing in time and space. We can let them go and let them be healed. Why not bring back the perfect you in every way? So as we start to think about returning back to our body and bringing back all this healing chi and good information using Kai, we just think about our journey backwards. We think about finding our galaxy and the Milky Way. We can say Kai to bring ourselves back. Take a breath in. Sorry, of course we're saying her to bring ourselves back. That didn't feel right, did it? So take a breath in. We can gently find our way back to our solar system. Start to find our way back to our beautiful blue planet. Start to imagine coming back into the blue sky. Eventually working our way back into our bodies. Just feel your body filled with blue sky chi. Feel your body filled with Hunyuan chi, the pure chi of the whole universe, healing every cell of your body, healing every pattern in your reference framework, healing the past and the future. Now we feel ourselves in the present moment, in our bodies, everything working well, everything starting to heal. Let's just sort of expand and contract a few times to get this new chi to settle in, as it were. So we're going to say Kaya a few more times, just letting the body dissolve and gather, dissolve and gather. So we begin with Kai. Body dissolves into energy. Body rebuilding every cell, DNA, every atom, deep into the nucleus of the cells. Everything working well, everything great function. Again, let our cells dissolve with Kai. Feel the space inside your body. Feel your body open. Feel chi moving well through your body. Gather the chi deep inside. Feel the tingling through your body. Every neuron, every cell working well. So we can think at the functional level now. Imagine dissolving our nervous system with Kai. Whole nervous system open and dissolving. Bring back a perfect working one for yourself with her. Let's think about the sort of hormonal system. And of course, with that comes, thyroid and thymus and pituitary gland and adrenal gland. Goodness, my biology is failing me, but the whole hormonal system inside our bodies. Let's dissolve all of that. We bring back all of those functioning well. Think about everything to do with the digestive system. So much indeed with the stomach and spleen and the digestive system from mouth all the way through our system. So let's just dissolve all of that. through. Bring back fresh healing energy. What about the blood system with all the veins and arteries and nerves? Sorry, not nerves, veins and arteries. Well, I suppose the nerves do. They work the heart and everything. So we think about our heart, liver, cleansing, kidneys, and everything's involved in it. Spleen, lungs, moving blood around. So we think about the complete system for our blood system. And the blood itself. Dissolve it. Bring back complete healing for that system. But think about the organs specifically. Let all your organs dissolve and relax. Perfect working organs. Think about all the sensory organs as well, from the tips of your fingers through the nose, the mouth, the ears, the eyes, your skin. Dissolve all of that. Bring it back. Perfect working order. So where are we at? What about the bone structure? So deep inside our bones, the marrow. The marrow grows red and white blood cells, but it's also really fundamental to our immune system. So we just think about the bones and the juicy marrow inside them. We're going to dissolve the whole thing, make the bones strong when they come back, but also make all the red blood cells and marrow working well. So dissolve all of that. Bring back strong, healthy marrow, strong, healthy bones. And then, of course, our muscles and our tendons and, well, everything else, all the fluids in the body, from the core of your meaty self all the way out to your skin. Let's just dissolve everything. Let it go. Bring back all the sort of structural function of the body. Finally, for the last time, just think about a cell. We can all think of sort of, 12 years old when they show you a diagram of a cell. It's got some sort of blobs inside it. You don't really have to know what they do. It's got a cell wall. We'll use this as our kind of sample cell. We're going to dissolve this sample cell and we're going to bring it back in perfect working order. And every cell in the body responds to this, feels that it's being treated individually. So think about your sample cell, whatever it might look like to you. It doesn't have to be accurate. Don't panic. Just whatever you can remember. And then we gently dissolve our cell. And we're going to bring back the perfect working cell for every cell in your body. So there must be things I've missed out and you're thinking, what about? Anyway, so we'll just include the whole body now a couple more times. Next two are a bit more subtle, a bit quieter. And the last two are just gentle breaths with the hands gently moving. Good. Eventually, we just draw our hands back onto our belly. As you land your hands on the belly, you feel the chi deep inside your belly. So this is lower dantian, the lower energy field. We fill it with chi, and it supplies chi to support all of our life function. Lower dantian chi is filled, abundant with energy. Blood and chi flow well through the body. So imagine this field deep inside us. It supports our whole life function. Imagine you can take the chi deep inside, flow it up your spine, all the way up into your brain, illuminate your brain with chi, every cell in your brain working well. Strong, powerful brain. All functions of your brain returning to perfect working order. All functions of your brain normal. Allow the chi to flow from lower dantian up to your neck and to your shoulders, down your arms. Fill the spine, fill your ribs, all the way down to the tailbone and into your hips. And then we think a moment about the chest. In there we have our heart and our lungs. Down below we have the spleen, liver and pancreas, and all of their associated organs. So let's now just imagine flowing chi up from lower dantian into middle dantian, and allow it to spread out to all of our organs. An abundance of chi deep inside your organs, all of your organs working well, all functions of your organs, perfect working order, all functions normal. Feel the chi spread from lower dantian down into your tailbone, hips, pelvis, into the hip joints. Fill them with chi, into your thighs. Fill your knees with chi, into your calves. Fill your ankles and Achilles with chi. Fill your feet with chi. As we stand here, we imagine a layer of energy around our skin. It's called your Wei Qi layer. It's like a protective shield. It's about 1 inch or 2 around the skin, like a protective coating for your body. So imagine your glowing Wei Qi layer, like a beautiful glowing protection, front and back, left, right, above and below, all round the body. And then we think about our chi body. That's like 1 meter in front of us, 1 meter behind us, left, right, up and down, you in this lovely chi bubble. It also protects you, but it also connects you to the outside world. So as we stand in this beautiful ball of chi, we see ourselves a being of light, every cell in the body working well, an abundance of energy supporting our lives, the chi body is protecting us and connecting us. All functions of your body normal. All functions normal. See everything working perfectly. And then we just close this exercise off by drawing 3 little circles round the belly button. So you can let the hands drop down below the belly button and then go to your left hand side, up, over the top, and down towards your right foot. We make our 2nd circle round, anti-clockwise, 3rd circle round. And this just kind of draws chi from all around the body, brings anything extra, anything that's not needed, back into storage here and deep in lower dantian. And then we take 3 circles in the opposite direction. So we go down, we go to the right hand side, up over the top, towards the left toe. And then we do our 3 anti-clockwise circles. That just sends a message to your body, closing down, coming back into daily mode, bringing our body back and inhabiting it fully, as it were. And then when you finish your 3 circles, you can just bring your hands back onto your lower dantian. As you stand here, just imagine your body, everything working well, every cell in perfect working order. Put a big smile on your face. Slowly lower your hands down by the sides. If you have your eyes closed, you can open them. You can bring in a bit of a wiggle to your fingers. Perhaps you want to move your feet around, move your toes around. Stretch if you want to stretch. If there's something that needs a little stretching, you can always give it a stretch. And then we have a closing. We say, Hao La. So Hao La is Chinese for good already. Everything is already sorted. So we say Hao La 3 times. I put my hands, so we put our hands up in the air. I count 1, 2, and we say Hao La. If you'd like to unmute yourselves, if you do, there's a chance you might be on camera on the final film. So if you don't want to unmute yourselves, no problem. But it's not guaranteed you'll be featured, unfortunately. Okay, so hands up in the air. 1, 2. Hao La. Lovely. 1, 2.
Howla.
Last time. 1, 2. Ha.
Howla.
Oh, very good. So we've got a final salute for each other. We just take the right hand and bring it up so it's sitting in front of your tummy, left hand on top, and then you draw your fingertips together and put the thumbs on the end. Really nice to see everybody. Thank you very much for being here, and see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.